What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? What's going on? What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey, little baby. What's up, Munch? Little baby, I gotta get better about letting y'all know when I'm going live, honey. I set up the daggone chat and I keep forgetting to put it in the chat, but I'm gonna get better. Hey, Monk Chip, I heard you came down to DC to meet Kelly Love. I'm glad you were able to meet him. I'm glad you were able to meet him. Hey, Below. What's up, Dre? Hey, what's up, Brandon? Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit of Married to Medicine, and then we'll be back at our usual time for our tribe meeting, honey. Um, Hopefully the air be fixed today. I was told that it'll be fixed this evening, so we're gonna keep our fingers crossed that the air will be back on because it was 90 some degrees today. Okay, okay. Anyway, hey, so Jeff, what's up, Cameron? So listen, let's go ahead and jump into it. So last night was the season finale, the season 8 finale of Married to Medicine, and it was a little bit of a doozy. We know that we have the reunion coming up. They got a 3-part reunion. So for the next 3 weeks, honey, we're gonna be reuniting with these folks, okay? And it looks like there's a lot going on. So first of all, we start this episode off. The episode was good, Social Jump. It was a good episode. So we start the episode off. We have Anila was like, listen, I'm going to get my money from you one way or the other. So since you don't want to give me my money, we know her and Lisa Nicole had this whole tit-a-tay, and Lisa Nicole owed her money. And she was like, well, since you don't seem like you don't give me my money, I'm going to get it one way or the other. So baby, she goes down to the bar, and she's like, what's the most expensive thing you got? And she runs up a $600 bar tab. Now, let me say this. First of all, girl, Monk Chip, I knew that's what you did. Girl. Well, I'm glad you made it home safely. You did the same thing, so I figured that's what happened. So I'm glad you made it home safely, though. So here's the thing. I don't want to be too petty. Hey, what's up, O Street? I want to be too petty, but here's what we're going to talk about. First and foremost, you're not walking up to a hotel asking for somebody else's room at a hotel. Now, I know that sometimes if you're with the same group and the hotel knows you with the same group, they might go ahead and give you that information. And so I'm going to go ahead and let them have that because the people at the front desk probably knew they were all together. They were all in one group together. And so I'm going to get them that. But technically, that ain't supposed to happen. They can say, we'll call you. We can call that person's room, or you can leave a note for that person. But legally, they ain't supposed to get nobody room number. But I'm going to let them have it. Okay, that's petty. I know that's me being petty. The second thing was, she ordered 3 bottles of the wine, or the champagne, or whatever. 1 bottle for her, a bottle for Quad, and a bottle for Heavenly. Now, they said that the price tag was $320. That was after they had already had at least one drink at the bar. How the bill just happened to come out to exactly $600? I mean, did you pay the difference so that it would only be $600? It was just a little too perfect. Like, I would have rather them been like, your bill came to $672.53. But just nothing is exactly, y'all know that. How often do you buy something and it's exactly $12 even? It happens every once in a while. But okay, I'm going to let them have it, y'all. I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to let them have it. I thought that was bullshit because if Toya would have done that to her over not paying the makeup artist, she would have been playing victim. Oh, let's be clear. She was wrong as 2 left feet. Whether you like Lisa Nicole or not, what she did was wrong. There was no justification for what she did. None. Hey, what's up, Zara? They rounded it up for the tip. Maybe that's what they did, honey. But I just want to know that she bought 3 bottles that cost $320 each. But again, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna just let it go. She was still wrong, though. Here's the thing, and I said this last week. I didn't do a live review last week, but y'all can go back and look at my review from last week. I said this, Anila, you're not handling business. You know, people, it's okay to make a verbal agreement, but then you got to follow it up with some paperwork. So when you were in that store with her and you said to her, listen, These are my prices for doing an Insta story. And she said, girl, no problem. That was all well and good. But then what you should have immediately done was sent her some paperwork. Before you took a picture, before you posted it onto your Instagram, you should have took a picture. You should have had some paperwork. And then immediately after you posted it, you should have sent her pictures of those posts with your invoice. And when you saw her at the little dinner she had over to her house, hold on, I hit something. Okay. When you saw her when she had that little dinner over to her house and you showed her the pictures, at that point, that should have been the first time she should not have been shocked to know that there was an Insta story done. That shouldn't have surprised her. She should have known because you would have sent that information to her. So I'm going to say this to Anila. Listen, if you're a blogger and this is how you make your business, this is how you make your money, you didn't do good business. And I get it that it was the scene and they were filming the scene. And that's what I'm saying, So Jeff. It was cool to film the scene and do it for the purposes of, for the camera. But then if you were really serious about that woman paying you, now if you were just doing it for TV, okay, cool. But you clearly thought you was going to get some money. So then after the scene is over and after you go back home, you send out your paperwork. Because that can't be the first person you've ever done an Insta story for. She was like, well, people usually pay me. Well, how do they know to pay you? Like Dr. Simone said, hell, I bill my patients. They know they came into the doctor's office and had a service done, but I still bill them. I get bills from every time I go to the doctor, even though my insurance pays for everything except for the copay, I still get paperwork from every time I go to the doctor from my insurance company, just for my own records. So it's crazy to me. And then for Anila to play victim, ma'am, you are not the victim. Now, don't get me wrong, Lisa Nicole is no angel. But in this scenario, you are not the victim. Now, Quad and Heavenly was just going along for the ride. Now, what I could appreciate is that at the end of the day, Heavenly was going to go ahead and get that woman some money because Heavenly knew that shit was wrong. She enjoyed it. She had fun with it. She filmed the scene, but she was going to get that woman some money. All right. So, soon I had some ice in my mouth. I don't think Lisa was shocked. I believe Lisa said, no, Lisa said, send me the invoice. Lisa didn't say she was going to pay, but then decided not to. Lisa said, you never sent me an invoice. Did you send me an invoice? That's what Lisa said. Anila just needs to learn everyone is not trustworthy. It's not uncommon for new businesses not to know all. Well, I don't think she's a new business. She said she was in corporate America before she started blogging, and she's been blogging for a minute. And she said that her clients usually pay her. So that means that this is something you've been doing. That's how I take it. If you say my clients usually pay me, then that means this isn't your first rodeo. Right. Heavenly said, I just want to go home. Like, it was fun. We filmed the scene. Girl, take your money. Let's go. I just want to go home. I want Lisa and Quad back full-time next season. I definitely want Quad back full-time. Quad, even if you don't like Quad, Quad makes good TV. Quad is the Kenya. Kenya has her fans and Kenya has her haters, but I think we all agree that Kenya makes good television. Quad lit up every scene she was in. Whether you like her or not, Quad lit up. Oh, I don't have my light on, y'all. Can y'all see me okay? Because it's hot. She said that at the dinner. We don't know what they talked about at the store. Lisa is not trustworthy. No, I get that. I'm not saying that Lisa is an angel. Listen, I can only go by what's on the screen. I'm reviewing the show. I can only go by what they showed me, and this is what they showed me. I can't get into all of that. I know sometimes we go left and we go right, but I'm just saying, Lisa said send me an invoice. That's what Lisa has said. Now, I know at the store they came to a verbal agreement, but all I'm saying is that in this day and age, a verbal agreement is all well and good, but a verbal agreement is very, very hard to prove because it's going to always be my word against yours. All I'm saying is follow it up with an email. It's real easy. It's real simple. If you're in business, that's what you do. You can see me. Okay, good. Well, but Quad wasn't offered a full-time position from my understanding. I know her and Dr. Contessa were on there last night, so maybe she's something. But I thought that they offered her, or maybe they offered her less money, and she didn't take the less money, and so she agreed to be friend of the show. I don't know. Because I do know that she was supposed to go to D.C. Quad was supposed to go to DC, but Quad went to Mexico, and then she had to quarantine. And so that's why she missed the DC trip. So some of her not filming this year was her fault. When she went to Mexico, she came back, she had to quarantine. Quad ain't never married, so she could stay B-roll character. I get it, but I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm here for Quad. I'm sorry. I know she's not married to medicine no more, honey, but she is good TV. I'm here for it. Andy loves Quad. He does. And I can understand them demoting her because of that. Like, I get it. I understand why she was demoted or why they wanted to demote her, but I'm just saying she made good TV. That's all. She did pay the makeup artist. I didn't say she didn't pay the makeup artist. She spoke on it with Heavenly and Funky Neva, and the makeup artist told Funky that she paid them with no issues. She just didn't pay it that day, but they got paid. Yeah, I knew I figured she had paid the makeup artist. You know, again, I think Toya was putting 20 on 10 because for whatever reason, Toya was just going through something. Well, I already told y'all what I think is going on with Miss Toya. I already told y'all that I think, in my opinion, what's going on with Miss Toya is sometimes in our lives we think, and we see this happen a lot with celebrities. And that's why when people say, oh my gosh, they're rich, they're famous, how can they be depressed? Oh my gosh, they have everything. Why are they so depressed or they're not happy? Because you spend your whole life thinking you want something. And then when you get it and you're still not happy and you're still not satisfied, then you don't know what to do next. And I think Toya, in her mind, her whole life wanted to be rich. She wanted to be comfortable. She wanted to travel. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like all of the things that she has right now, I think that's what she wanted. And she's still not happy. And so she's not happy. And that's what I really think that's what that was this season. That's just my opinion. I think they're having money problems that they're not talking about, and that ain't my business either. But I think they're having money problems. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. Y'all talking about the Housewives. Quiet gave me everything I needed on Watch What Happens Live. She called Toya a subpar mom. I know Quiet was looking cute down on the Watch What Happens Live. That little jumpsuit, that little short set she had on was cute. It was cute, honey. I was here for it. So that's what happened with that. So then, okay, here's where we get into some minutia, okay? The guys, well, no, forget that. Before that, the ladies are going out. Jackie and Simone playing two different activities. One was a tour around the island, and one was a shrimp boat. And they wanted to keep Anila away from Toya and Lisa Marie because of what had happened the night before at dinner, okay? And so both of them went out and they did what they did. They did what they did. And I'm going to say this. Jackie must know something that we don't know, because this is the second time that Jackie has given Anila advice to leave Toya alone and let the friendship go. This is the second time she done told her, these ladies need to mind their own bees knees. Because Jackie normally don't get that kind of advice. Jackie is normally a stay to the end, fight to the end, rah, 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 Cisco and Bar kind of chick. And for her to tell Anila, she has told Anila twice, listen, this just might not be it, ma'am. You might just need to let this thing go. And I feel like, what's up, Cams? Mwah. I think your opinion is correct. They don't want to talk about their finances again, so they're keeping things surface with that house. Yeah. How your former teacher and doing virtual learning with your kids is too much for you. She was right. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I thought the same thing when she was complaining. I'm thinking to myself, you have more of an advantage than most people because you were a teacher. Now, don't get me wrong. Just like every profession, just because you in it don't mean you good at it, okay? And I don't know nothing about Toya, so I ain't sitting here saying that the woman was a good teacher or a bad teacher because I ain't here to judge her. All I'm saying is just because she was a teacher don't mean she was a good teacher. And let's be clear, just because she was a teacher, I don't know what subject she taught. I don't know what grade level she taught because there are differences. There are differences, okay? Because I have had friends call me to help their kids, and I'm thinking, I can't help your child with that. I can give you the name of somebody, but I can't do that. I teach high school social studies. Don't call me about no calculus. Don't call me about no chemistry. If it's English or social studies, I can work with you. Don't call me about nothing else. I'm just telling you now. I'm not your person. I'm not your girl. I'm not your girl. Okay. Yes, quintessential. Actually, Thursday. You know my schedule. I haven't gotten in the pool yet. I was actually going to go swimming today. But then I was like, I got a lot of stuff I need to get done. And I didn't feel like fooling. I didn't feel like going swimming, having to do something with my hair to come on camera and all that good stuff. So I didn't go swimming today. But I may go swimming before the week is over. But I didn't go today. Anyway. It's funny how Quad wants to be the spokesperson on marriages when all of them have been married longer than her, and her marriage was horrible before they even walked down the aisle. Child, listen. Okay. Child. So, on the shrimp boat, nothing really happened on the shrimp boat other than, Toya was clowning Carrie about her bathing suit, and Heavenly was clowning Carrie about the bathing suit, talking about something looked like a Confederate flag. It was a British flag. I'm certain that Heavenly knows the difference. She was just being silly. She was clowning for the camera. This is what we got to remember about Dr. Heavenly as well. Dr. Heavenly also is very, very knowledgeable about being good for TV. She does. She knows exactly what she's doing, and how she's playing to the camera. She goes too far sometimes, I think, but she absolutely knows what she's doing. There's no mistaking what Dr. Heavenly does for the camera. Okay. Toya was a teacher. Live show. No, they said that. Well, I don't listen. I never saw her in the classroom, but they said she was a teacher. Like the first couple of seasons on the show with Dr. Eugene before she was a teacher. Cause Toya got a college degree and everything. Elementary or first grade? Oh, well then she should have been able to help her children. Okay, but I was trying to help her out, but she should have been able to help her children. I mean, at least forget it. She should have been able to help her children. Moving on. So when they get back from their respective trips, the guys have shown up. So Scott's here, Cecil and Curtis are here. Okay. Now, the ladies have planned this whole, I'm gonna use the word ambush, because I feel like that's exactly what they did to Scott, okay? They planned this whole confrontation situation. Now, the guys, I don't think were fully aware of how bad things had gotten as far as how the ladies felt about Scott. They knew that Contessa and Scott were having problems, and they knew that they were bringing Scott down there so that they as a group could help them, right? But I don't think they realized or they knew how bad it was and how bad them ladies was ready to jump on Scott. They got to dinner, and before Scott could get his first cocktail in, Heavenly has jumped on him. Heavenly was like, we got some questions for you, Scott. And he was like, can we wait till dinner? Can I get my food first? And here's the thing. This scene was everything. It really was. The scene was everything. It was a lot of little moving pieces. So they start coming at Scott. And Scott was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, my marriage is good. Like, yeah, we've hit a couple of bumps in the road, but we're good. And the ladies are like, no, y'all aren't. And, Quad is like, your marriage is in dire straits. And he was like, dire straits? What are y'all talking? Wait a minute. What? My wife, we haven't. What are y'all? Huh? Like, he is totally confused. Now, do I think Scott is as oblivious as Scott pretends to be? I don't. But do I think that he thought the marriage was as bad as Contessa feels like the marriage is? I don't. I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes, I'm not going to make this a man versus woman thing. I'm just going to make this a person versus person thing. Sometimes in relationships, one person feels that the relationship is one place, and the other person feels that the relationship is in another place. And you can say all day long, we're not good, we're not good, we're not good. And the person isn't hearing we're not good. the person is hearing, we done hit a little bump in the road, we will be all right. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I think most of us have been in relationships where you feel the relationship is going. I mean, how many people have ever been blindsided one way or the other? Like you thought the relationship was good and the person is ready to break up, or vice versa. You ready to break up and the person is like, where's this coming from? And I think that's kind of where Scott and Contessa were. And when Contessa was telling the ladies about the whole, life coach situation, I just don't think Scott was ready. I don't think Scott was ready. But it's clear that Scott has had the upper hand in their relationship for years. That woman is broken. I'm going to be honest with y'all. And y'all tell me in the chat, for those of you who watch Married to Medicine and y'all have been watching Married to Medicine, it wasn't until last night that I felt like that. If you had asked me 3 weeks ago about that, if you had asked me last season about that, it wasn't until last night when I saw how Contessa turned into this meek, mild shell of a person. I would have never said that before last night. But I also feel like what Contessa showed me last night is a woman that's tired of fighting. At least in that moment. I ain't saying they're not in a better place now, but at least in that moment, I just think she was tired of fighting. Because listen, let's be clear. Contessa, again, I don't know this woman from a hole in the wall, but Contessa doesn't seem like the type of person that would turn over so much power of her to her friends like that. Like she sat there and let them take over. But she wanted them to. Let's be clear. She was 100% on board with what they were doing last night at that dinner. She was 100% on board with it, okay? And for her to sit there and just be so silent. Hey, Lock Queen. For her to sit there and just be so silent while those women spoke for her. And then her response was, I'm sorry. She apologized to everybody. She apologized to Scott. She apologized to the ladies. She just did. That almost broke my heart because she looked so broken in that moment. In that moment, she looked so broken. You seen it since the beginning? Contessa plays it up for the camera. What do you think she plays up for the camera, Zara? You think she plays up how strong she is, or you think she plays up how bad their relationship is? Which one? Such a strong woman broken down like that. When he got up right away. He got up quick. He got up real quick. Hey, what's up, Auntie? I saw you hanging out this weekend, honey. You look like you had yourself a good time, honey. Contessa has been passive aggressive this season to get help with this. She's been trying, and he's been making her seem and feel like she's crazy. She is tired, but still believes he will change. I can agree with that, baby girl. I can agree with a lot of what you just said. Yep. And in that scene last night, that's what you saw in that scene last night. I think the women had good intentions, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I'm Scott, I'm probably getting up and walking away too. I don't even know y'all like that. And y'all really feel like y'all about to sit here and lecture me and talk to me about my marriage? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. She plays on women's emotions, letting everyone fill in the blanks for her. Okay, so that's what you mean she plays up. Okay, I got you. But Scott doesn't help. Because okay, so they had dinner. Scott gets up and walks away. Contessa leaves with him, and she's crying, and she's apologizing. She apologizing to him, and he was like, I got my wife's back. She knows I got her back. We've had bumps in the road before, but she knows I got her back. And that's what the ladies are trying to tell him. No, she doesn't. She doesn't know that you got her back, because we wouldn't be here if she knew. Then they leave. They finish dinner, and they, of course, they're gonna have a conversation about it. And the guys are like, "Listen, y'all have had 2 days to hear all of this. A lot of this information we ain't know. It's news to us. Y'all have had 2 days to digest this, and she has been, venting to y'all. So we ain't know all this was about to go down. And I think the guys kind of felt some kind of way about it too, because like I said, I know they were in on it, but I don't know how deep they were in on it. The guys know what's up. They've been doing the show for 8 years, 9 years. They know what the deal is, but I still don't think that they were ready for the whole setup situation. Contessa doesn't need long hair Scott. She deserves better than what he's giving. The woman or women he is messing around with are stupid because the child support check is going to be enormous. Child, with them 3 children, baby, yes. So Quad heavily end up going. Contessa sent heavily a text saying she's back at the room and she's just confused or to that effect. Hey, Alex, how you doing, boo? So they end up leaving dinner, kind of early. They ate their dinner, but they went to go see Contessa. Now Scott let them in the room. I was really shocked that Scott let them in the damn room, but Scott let them in the room. Scott cheated before. At this point, it's her fault. Ooh, Scott. Oh, y'all not loving Scott. Okay. Now, here's the part where Scott, like I said, if I was Scott, I would have got him from the table too, okay? But here's the part where I was like, Scott, now you just fucking playing games. When he sat there and said that he lied about the life coach situation because he was mad, but that he's been talking to a guy named Kevin Smith or Kevin Johnson. First of all, do you know how many damn Kevin Johnsons there are in this world? Let's be clear. Second of all, you went from I don't have no life coach, I don't believe in therapy, we can do this on our own, to I do have a woman I've been talking to that I haven't been paying who listens to me. I met her online. I was just playing. I really have a life coach. His name is Kevin Johnson. Do what? Scott, sir. See, let me tell you something. I love true crime. Y'all like true crime? I love true crime. Like, I love the ID channel. I listen to true crime podcasts. I love true crime. This how they always, well, not always, but this how they get caught a lot. When they start changing their story. Listen, whatever story you tell the first time, no matter how stupid it sounds, no matter how many holes the police said they got in their story, you better stick to that story. Whatever you told the police on day 1 is what you better be telling them on day 20. So, Scott, sir, whether it was the truth or a lie, you told it. You better sit in it. You can't switch it up now to it went from being a woman to a man. Sir. And I agree with Toya. Now, I don't agree with Toya about a lot of stuff, but I agree with Toya. That is an emotional affair. Because and I said this last week in my review. Here's essentially what it was, Scott. You have best case scenario, okay? Because I know there's a worst case scenario. But the best case scenario is you have found a woman that you are cool with. Y'all have become friends. You telling her all your family business and all your marital business. Now, do I think that's what it really is? No, I don't. But at the very least, that is an emotional affair. And do you know how easy it is for that to evolve into a full-fledged physical affair? Do you know how fast that... I told y'all that story last week about a friend of mine that happened to him. They were some friends of mine that was a married couple. Shut up, Bobo. I told y'all that before about friends of mine that are married couples. Did I tell y'all that? And he started talking. They were having marital problems, and he started talking to a friend at work, and they just became friends. And he would vent to her, and he would tell her about what's going on and how bad the marriage was and what he wanted. He loved his wife. He just wanted somebody to talk to and vent to. Fast forward a year later, he was getting divorced, and they are still together. Him and the girl from the job. They done got married and everything now. They still together. Be careful. And so Toya ain't wrong. Toya ain't wrong. Now, that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that Scott's sleeping with somebody. Now, that's the worst case scenario, is that he got a whole other woman. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. Okay. So then after that, Quad and Heavenly left confused as hell. Scott put them out the room. He was real polite about it, but he was like, I'm going to bed. You ain't got to go home. You got to get the hell up out of my room. Okay. So the next morning, Carrie goes over to Toya and says, listen, these walls are paper thin. And this morning, Scott and Contessa were having a full-fledged, yelling at the top of their lungs argument. And it was something to do with Scott having some naked pictures in his phone. Scott? Sir? 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 So Toya and Carrie decide to go talk to Contessa. Scott said, I'm not doing this again. He leaves the room. He leaves them alone. Now, the conversation with with Contessa, Carrie, and Toya, it was basically along the lines of, I'm tired of this. I can't fight this by myself. I can't do this alone. And she was very upset. She was crying. They did make the official announcement, because I was looking earlier, because Terrence said it. And I was looking earlier on my Instagram, and I didn't see it. Okay, well, we're going to talk about it. We definitely, we're going to talk about it, honey. If it's official, we are definitely going to talk about it, honey. Hold on. Let's take a station identification break, honey. I don't see it on the Versus website. On the Versus Instagram. I don't see it. It says I saw what Terrence posted, but I don't see it on the Versus Instagram. Well, I'll follow up on it before we go live, honey. I'll see what I can find. Sorry. All right. Twitter is faster than Instagram, so it's on to the Twitter. Okay, well, we're going to talk about it, honey. We're going to talk about it. So, did you see the producer unlock Contessa's hotel room door? I don't know. They had their keys too. Probably, child. They probably did, child. They probably have access so they can get in and out for filming and things like that. So, now while this is going on, Scott is downstairs talking to Cecil and Curtis. Now, Cecil and Curtis are listening to Scott, and they're trying to give him the old, listen, bruh. We understand last night was rough, but the ladies have been talking, and Contessa's feeling some kind of way. And Scott is like, well, we doing fine. Things aren't that bad. They tried to ambush me, and I ain't trying to sit here and be ambushed like that, and yada, 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 yada. And that is certain, I ain't gonna lie, at a certain point, it was like this, wah, 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 wah. Because I was like, Scott, you still sitting here trying to make excuses and trying to act like ain't nothing serious going on when we all see and hear what's going on, and it is serious, sir. It is serious, okay? Curtis brought up a good point. Curtis said sometimes people just want to vent. No, that wasn't Curtis. That was Cecil, child. I get Curtis and Cecil mixed up. Not that I get their names mixed up. I know who they are, but I be calling Curtis Cecil and Cecil Curtis, child. But Simone's husband, he brought up a good point. He said maybe she just wanted to vent. Maybe she didn't want y'all to plan no full-on intervention and try to fix it. Maybe she just needed to talk to her friends and hear and let them talk it out and hear what they had to say. You know what I mean? And I can understand that as well. But I think, again, the intentions were good. The intentions were good. You know. Not Curtis. You know what I ain't doing is y'all giving Curtis a hard time, child. So we packing up to leave, child. We don't have no resolve with Contessa and Scott. Listen, there was no resolve there. We packing up to leave. And Lisa Nicole goes to check out. I think she was tired of Scott gaslighting her and wanted to back up to prove she wasn't overreacting. Maybe. And I think that's it too, because sometimes you do, at a certain point, you are like, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Because let's be clear. I don't think anybody would have walked away. Like, again, that's just, I understood how Scott felt about the whole ambush situation. Like, again, I'm not agreeing with Scott. I'm just saying I understand the ambush of it. Anyway. Then we got the Lisa Nicole situation where she goes to check out and she got that $600 charge on her phone. And Toya was like, I know exactly who it was. Immediately. And she went to go get Anila. Now, Anila is playing Billy Badass. When Lisa starts talking about calling the police, Anila was like, call the police. I don't care. You the one that's in the news. I don't care about the police. I don't care about you calling the police. But here's what was funny. Did y'all hear Carrie tell Lisa, don't be a Karen. Don't call the police. We can handle this ourselves. I said, what? I said, did the lone white woman just say, don't be a Karen? I said, Contessa is not worried about losing her marriage. She's worried about a failure on her life's scoreboard. Ooh, that's decent. She said, watch what happens live. They've been in therapy for 2 weeks, but she's taken off her wedding ring and only has her band on. They only been in therapy for 2 weeks? I mean, they stopped film. I mean, they've been done filming for a minute. Like, they ain't been in therapy all this time? Honey. That's a good point, Zara, because Contessa is one of those people that doesn't want to feel like she lost. That is a good point. Then they had the whole argument loud. Child, they had to leave the lobby of the hotel. They outside arguing over this $600. And finally, Heavenly was like, child, if you don't take this $600. Now, first of all, can we talk about the fact that Heavenly had $600 cash in her wallet? That she just took the money out and was like, here. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? And Lisa was like, nah, I don't want your money. She gonna pay it. Lisa, take that $600 and let's move on, because Anila ain't paying it, okay? She not paying it, okay? Then Carrie Ann went on to pay it. She said, listen, let's go. I done already paid the bill, child. Let's go. So it was never about the money. It was just about the principle behind it. But I thought it was hilarious. Don't get me wrong. Anila, you were wrong, but it was funny. I ain't gonna lie, it was funny, but you was wrong as hell. You was wrong as hell, but it was funny, child. It was funny. So where are we now? Simone still wants to be an empty nester, but Miles is still in the house. Child, Miles ain't going nowhere. Miles is not going. Miles will leave when he get married. Miles ain't going nowhere unless they put him out. Miles ain't going nowhere. Okay. Anila moved into her house. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful home. Toya and Curtis said that, and Grimace, Eugene said that they're not talking about them selling that house. But I'm sure they bring it up at the reunion. I'm sure they bring it up at the reunion. I'm positive they got to talk about it at the reunion, child. Dr. Heavenly got her Lake House Honey, which I thought was that's a great rental property that they bought. They will make their money 10 times over. That is a great rental property. Right. I can't steal that one. James, aka Spiller Boy, he calls Toya and Eugene Grimace and the Fry Guy. And it cracks me up every time he damn says it. And that's why I can't remember Eugene's name now, because every time I think Eugene, I think of Grimace. I can't see him as anything other than Grimace anymore. And I blame Spilly Boy TV. Okay. Right, Quad bought herself a new home, honey. Bought herself a new house. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Quad. I thought that townhouse she had was bad, honey. Listen, don't get it twisted. Them townhouses ain't no joke. I have a friend of mine. They just bought a townhouse. It's a brand new development. It's going to be just like Quad's. Got an elevator. The whole top floor of theirs is going to be a deck. They have a full deck on the top of their townhouse with an outdoor kitchen, grill station, outdoor kitchen area. They have a whole floor as the master suite and all of that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the Quad child situation, it was a family member that needed help, and her mom were going to take the child, but I think they ended up doing, I think something ended up happening different. But that's what it was. It was never Quad actually adopting a child. I know that's what the impression gave, the way she posted that on her social media. But it wasn't about her adopting a child, but it was something with the family, and they were supporting the family or something like that. But next week we got the reunion. And y'all know we ain't gonna really get to the contestant stuff till probably part 2, maybe part 3. Next week is gonna be about probably all fluff. It's gonna probably be Toya. It's gonna be about Dr. Jackie and Simone friendship. Because according to Dr. Heavenly, they still weren't talking. Like after they got done filming, they still weren't friends again, hanging out and all that. So their friendship is still very much fractured. Very, very. So they'll probably talk about that, honey. And they're gonna drag that out, child. They're gonna talk about Anila being a new housewife. They're gonna probably talk about Lisa Nicole and Carrie, because they went there at the reunion, so they ain't gonna talk about them a whole lot. It's gonna be very minimal, They're gonna probably talk about the DC trip next week, and they ain't gonna get into nothing deep until part 2. Especially when I found out it was a 3-part reunion, I said, "Oh, they're gonna drag this shit all the way out." Okay. Anyway, let me drop off of here. All right, let me do my research on this on this Mary J. Blige, Toni Braxton versus, honey. Let me do some research on this, honey, and we're going to be back here at 6:30 for a tribe meeting, and we're going to talk all about it. Hopefully my air be fixed by then. Well, no, he said between 6 and 7, so we'll see. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. It's catching the replay. All right, peace. I know you are Stephanie Mills' band. What's Stephanie Mills' band? Oh, I love Stephanie Mills. Mm-hmm. I never knew love. No, is that? Yeah, that's Stephanie Mills here. I do. I love me some Stephanie Mills, honey. I'll be back. We'll talk about it at 6:30. Peace.